Hi guys, Stefan Page from MLMadventure.com. Today I have a question I received by email from Brian, and he's asking me about calling leads and specifically leaving messages to those leads. Should you do it? Should you not do it? Should you invest that time calling more leads? So let me answer three of his questions. Actually, he sent me three questions, so let me go over those. Okay, so he said, I've been purchasing business opportunity real-time local leads, and I'm calling them within 4 to 10 minutes of them becoming a lead and being emailed to me. But the answer rate so far is extremely low. I have not left a single message yet. At any point, should I be leaving messages on their voicemail or just hang up and continue to call them indefinitely without leaving any messages? Part of the reason I'm asking is I know that the real-time leads are sold twice, and someone else is likely calling them around that same time that I'm calling. And if some of those other reps are leaving messages and I'm never leaving messages, I'm wondering if this would negatively impact my success rate of getting to speak with prospects. Okay. Many years ago, I followed a training by Tim Sales called Professional Inviter, and he talks about leaving messages, and he says the best ratio where we're going to get a return is 7 messages. I've applied that rule, but only to follow-up calls, never to first call. The reason is I just didn't want to spend the time to call, and leave messages. That takes time to leave a message. So instead, I would just go and straight to, call another one, call another one, call another one, until I get through my list, all right? And there are systems out there that you can load your leads into that system, and it's going to call for you those leads. And if someone answers, then it transfers the phone to you and it rings on your phone, so you can say, hello, may I speak to so-and-so? So basically, it's doing the job for you, and if someone doesn't pick up, it's going to leave a message for you, an automated message that you recorded before. So that could be effective. That could be an effective way and run through lots of phone calls. The only downside is that, I don't know about you, but me, when I receive a phone call and there's a delay between me saying hello and the other person saying something, I just hang up, all right? Because I know it's a telemarketer, and I just don't do it. So that's the downside, is you may lose a bunch of people that might go straight to voicemail or just, no answer. So that's the challenge, but hey, it's huge numbers and that works. So it's up to you. You use a system or you go leave messages, but you're going to spend a lot of time leaving messages. I prefer to dial. I just dial more. That's it. And I'm going to reach someone. And I dial them a couple times. Let me give you my numbers. All right. I had a lead source that I bought like 502 leads from that one. That was business opportunity leads, specifically like the ones that Brian is talking about here. From those 502 leads, I actually dialed 2,786 times. That means I called on average 5.5 times each one of them. So I couldn't reach, call again, call again, call again. So what I do is I call my earliest, like my freshest leads, the ones I came in just most recently, and then when I'm done with them, then I go back to the other ones, and then the other ones, and the older ones, until I'm done. And so eventually over time I get so, like, I have maybe 100 list. Then when I start from the bottom, I never go back to the first one because I don't have time. I got too many other leads and then follow-ups and everything. All right, so that's why I'm going to eventually drop the ball on the first ones. But that's been what I've done. And you know what? My ratio with this is this, and you may want to write this down. So 2,786 time dialed, connected with 1,214 of those. So that's 76%. Now understand, the dial may be also a follow-up call. Okay, so I may have dialed, they answer, and then I call them again for a follow-up call, and I call them again. So I may call like 9 times the same person, just follow up and all of this, all right? So, but on average, 5.5 times. And then set appointments with 1,013 of them and presented to 89 of those people. And from those 89, 22 joined my business. So 89 people who actually, I presented everything, not just the first video, but because 174 people actually reviewed the first video, which was my sorting, prospecting video that really educated them on network marketing and got them interested in wanting to know more. So 174. Out of those 174, 89 of them, so that's 50% of them, also reviewed my company information, looked at my products and everything. From those 89, 22 joined the business. So that's 24, 25% of those who reviewed everything joined the business. This was cold call, like cold leads, cold market, right? So that's my ratio. And so, I mean, is this good? Should I leave messages and increase my ratio? Maybe, but this works. Like, you know, this has worked, and it's just not, that's one lead source. I got many of those, right? And the same ratio applies. I've also placed some, you know, free classified ads, get the same kind of ratio, all right? So that's been for the first question. Second question is, how many times per day do you recommend calling them without feeling that you run the risk of calling too often and being impolite? I'm going to call them typically 2 times a day. One in the day, one in the evening. They don't pick up, I try them the next day. I'm not going to call 7 times. I know initially you just bought leads and you have 5 leads. That's all you got. So do you call them 5 times that day? You could. The only suggestion I would make is call with your ID blocked. All right, so they don't see it's you calling all the time. Otherwise, when they pick up, they're going to say, well, what's your problem? All right, so that could be you know, the other scenario. But as you start to add more and more leads, eventually you won't have that problem anymore. Okay, so there you go for that. Okay, these purchased leads also come with their email addresses. So if we have a system set up for sending out autoresponder emails, at any point would we want to set up our purchased leads who have not answered our phone calls to start receiving emails from our autoresponders? My reason for asking this is that we can see who opens up our emails and gauge their possible interest by seeing who is clicking through our emails and watching the videos. And I thought this might be another indicator that could be useful for knowing who is a priority to call. Thanks in advance, Brian. Okay, so you could do that. The problem is you're not supposed to do that. All right, your email service provider doesn't permit that. They say if you add leads to your list, they need to be leads who opted in to your list. I understand you purchased those leads and they actually requested information about a home-based business, but they haven't filled out that form that service provider, that email service provider has. And so typically you're not supposed to do that. Some will allow you to upload a certain number of emails or leads per day manually. That's an alternative. You could do that. There's no downside. It's, again, you know, time that you invest in doing that. So I suggest if you're going to do that in the evening when it's late. It's not a good time to call prospect. It's not a good time to talk to people. Then that's time that you can invest in doing these type of, you know, tasks. All right. So, but that's a great idea. So, you know, that could give you cues. And one tip, what you could do, guys, if when you have an email for someone and you can't reach them, take their email address, go to Facebook, and at the top in the search bar, put their email address. And sometimes it's the email address that that person is using to sign into Facebook. If that's the case, it's going to show up their profile. You could friend them. Once they friend you back, then you message them. Don't message them first, because the problem is it's probably going to go in their other inbox in Facebook, which most people never check. It's like their spam. So just wait until they friend you back. Then once they friend you back, say, hey, thanks for your friend, you know, accepting friend request. You know, you actually visited one of my website requesting information about some work that you'd like to do from home. Is this still something you're looking for? All right. So there you go. And that language is the one you should use. Okay. You don't say you request information about a home-based business. Don't say that. Say you requested information for work that you could do from home. That's it. They don't know it's a business. They don't know it's a job. They don't know anything. So they're not going to disqualify themselves, all right, or the opportunity. So there you have it. Hope this is helpful. If you enjoyed this, if you got benefits from it, leave your comments below. I love to read your comments, and share this post with your friends so they can benefit. And if you want to get more tips like these, especially on my website right now, MLMadventure.com, you'll see it's my personal website. It's going to switch the URL at the top, but that's my personal website, and I have an offer to show you how to sponsor 5+ reps per month into your business. Have a great day.